Okay, it's all unwrapped, peeled, ready to paint again. Obviously, like before, pulled the mirrors out, just paint over. Plastic trim, mirror goes straight over the top. Door trim straight over the top. Leaves better than having an edge along the trim. Windows, you can paint over the windows, no problem. But to me, that's just a waste of PlastiDip. It's not cheap. As long as there's a border there, when you pull the tape, it'll all come straight off with that. Again, the rubbers touch here, so what we do, we give it a coat, open the door, that'll dry, bond into the car, not to the door rubber. Again, the same with the back window, the lights, taped up parts of them, left a bit to peel, just makes life easier if you can grab hold of something. Same as I taped across here. It gives you something when you pull the tape, you get a nice edge, comes off nice and easily. Same along there, it just comes off easier if you've got a bit of tape in the middle of it, like the door handles, stuff like that. Again, open the door. Bit of tape on the handles, like I say, just give something to pick on, hold on. You don't have to use all your PlastiDip on it. I normally put a little strip on the indicators, put it off. After the light's covered up, that's just because we've masked up the bonnet and the roof. We're leaving that black. Anything to mask, do a sheet. I think there's some old curtains or something, newspaper, polythene. Just as long as it's got a good seal on it. That's it. Wheel covers, make life much easier. We've got a new door trim to put on there. The other one fell off years ago, never got around to putting it on. Might as well put it on now. That's basically the gist of it. So we're going to hit with some blue. So hopefully it's going to end up blue and black. What we've done with the grills as well. I started peeling that off and I thought that's a bit daft because I'm going to have them black. So I've left this white. When we paint over with the blue, it's going to bond to the white. And it'll make it even easier to come off then because you'll have all the coats of white, all the coats of blue. And that'll just come straight off. Don't forget to tape the holes up where you're taking the mirror out, otherwise when you paint you're going to have a car full of blue. It's going to be all over the dash, the steering wheel, hanging around in the air. That's generally the gist of it. Okay, we're going to get some blue now. Okay, we've had 7 coats on it now. We've got full coverage pretty much, except for the black bits. The easiest way to tell is the number plate. If you can still see the letters and the numbers on it, you know you haven't got full coverage. You can't see them on there. Now blue is not great at covering black, hence the Ford badge. And if you look at the side trim, that still looks fairly black. And the door handles, obviously, because I don't know why, but the blue will not cover black. And you only got to look at the thing. But if you look at how this has been painted, I don't know if you can see it, it's pretty darn smooth and looks like a mirror. Now when that's dried tomorrow, there will be no orange peel, no ripples, no nothing in that, and that will just be perfect. The repair, like I said, well, it wasn't really a repair, it was just a bodge job there. Still shows, but you know, it's kind of hidden. Lights, obviously, when it's dried tomorrow, we'll just rip all that off. Not really thinking about else. Now, what we have got, this will come in the starter kit. You'll get one of these, the razor blade. Just unwrap it. Now, what you want to do before, so leave the car like I just have, 20 minutes, right? That is dryish. I mean, if you went up to it now, see that it's very, very tacky. That's how you want it. Now, you get your razor blade and you just run a slice along there. Now, what that does is, now that's going to dry, but that slit is always going to be there. So when we come to peel the trim off, it's not going to be, because if you can see closely there, that trim and the quarter panel are joined as one there. But if we run a little slit there, you see it? And then now, that will not dry joined. See? That's it. So when that's dry, grab the edge. You won't have to worry about tugging at it. I mean, that's that rough spot we had earlier. It's the actual paint itself's lifting. No point in fixing it. The car's not worth it. Again, do that to this trim. You can see, I don't know if it's going to pick it up on the camera properly, but you can see where the dip has bonded between the rubbing strip and the door. Now, you'll probably notice it more once I run this razor down and separated them. See, now there's a gap. You see? So what we'll do, there you go, look, crystal. That hole from there, all along there as well. That whole thing is joined up into one big lump. So, what we should do, run a razor edge along there. This is, of course, only if you want to have the rubbing strips black and peel them off. But I do, because I think it breaks the car up, breaks the colour up, makes it look better. Again, we're going to do exactly the same thing with the door handles. It's better to do it now rather than wait till it's dry, because then all you'll do is it will be dried. You'll slice the edge and you'll have like a flappy bit where it's not bonded to the car, because it was bonded to each other. Now you've just sliced it in half. So now that will dry stuck to the car, as opposed to each other. It's two separate bits. So, like so. Now when they're like that, they dry, you slit them, you peel this off, it's got nowhere to go. If you split them now, this stays dry to the car, this comes away, perfect. What you'd normally do is on the roof trim as well, do the same thing, but obviously we're doing a black roof, so we don't need to. Just get around and do the other side quick before it. Just push that too. This looks fine actually, you can't see any join because obviously this has been repaired in the past and someone's just restuck that back on. I've only just put this one on, so there is a nice gap already. Can't see it joint at all. So this side's fine. Door handle, you can see again just the little cracks. When you do it though, just take your time, don't rush it, because if you slip and slice right down through the door, that's it, game over. You're going to permanently have that slit in it. What we do, look, I'll just put a slice in there. Right, when we come back tomorrow, you can hardly see that, but put one right through the middle of there. Right, hardly see that. Right, again, leave the doors open. We'll come back to this tomorrow, peel off what we need to peel, and it'll all look rather right on there. You're going to want to peel this. So. Remember, don't rush, just take your time. If this takes a minute to do it, it takes a minute. But if you screw it up, it's going to take you several hours to repaint the tailgate. There's a big gap there, you can see, so there's no way that's going to be joined. Big gap that side also. I think there's a big gap on the bottom. It's a bit dark and I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up. But again, there is no rush. It's not going to be dried or cured for 10 or so hours, so no need to go mad. Right, I think that's all the bits trimmed what we need to trim. Everything else is going to peel lovely. I'll put it off there nicely. Only a little bond across there. Right, next morning, this is all nice and dry. You can see it was all it's bonded there nicely. The camera's going to pick it up, but I was showing you yesterday, all the orange peel's gone. It's all turned perfectly smooth. Looks exactly like a vinyl wrap now, but a third of the price and much easier. Everywhere seems covered lovely. Alright, what we're going to start doing now is to unpick it. Now if you remember last night, see, you can just about see these slits in there now, especially this one. Look, it's separated as it's dried. See, look how easy that comes away. Now if you'd cut that down the side of your door, that's what you'd have. So you'd end up having to peel it off the whole door, repaint the door. At least that's fairly easy with using a standard colour, because you can just tape up, cover, and then just redo the door and it'll all blend and match and it'll be fine. Right, we're going to start picking this off and it. Give yourself just a normal paintbrush, some of the PlastiDip. What we're going to do now is mend the parts that were broken. E.g., if you remember, this lifted a little. Just run some across there. Now what we do, that'll dry, it will hardly be visible, but what you don't want to do is leave it, because that will flap up and it will just spread. This, by putting the PlastiDip back on it, will thin it down a little, soften it, and then reseal it. Looks ugly at the moment, but when it dries, it will look fine. This was a bad one, this. So we probably need a fair bit of dip on there. Yeah, see, that will seal, rebond. Basically, you just work your way around the car, trying to remember where it was that you peeled stuff. Obviously, that bonnet's a mess. We were going to do it gunmetal grey later anyway. That's it. You just look for the bits that were peeling, reseal them down. There's a couple on the roof here somewhere, yeah. Doesn't matter if you go a bit crazy with it, because once it's dried you can always razor that again and peel it off of the roof bars. Well, not bars, but roof strips. And once dried, this will look, you won't even notice it. But that's the beauty of PlastiDip as opposed to vinyl wrapping. If there's vinyl wrapped, you have to peel it back further, dab of glue, put it back down, but it never seals properly and it always looks ugly. This, because it's a paint based thing, by putting PlastiDip back on, we're thinning it down, softening the edge, and it's rebonding it again, giving it a whole new edge. Oh, just the Fiesta, all done. And the handles yet. It's easy with a microfiber cloth. Apart from that, we're going to redo the bonnet and the roof to gunmetal. All. Less than 24 hours to unwrap it and then repaint it. Hi, Alan from MatPack. Obviously we've just done the Fiesta, that's out there. Any questions, any problems, hit up the forum. It's on www.matpack.co.uk/forum. Give me a ring, pop in, anything you need to know, you can find out there. Everything you've seen that I've used, you can sell. This was just a demo with the airgun, because I've had lots of questions where people can use their compressor and their airgun. They already have one. As you can see, you can. Turns out fine. All I used with that was just a common old Sealy cheapy gun, run at about 35 psi with a 1.4 tip. Nothing special. Comes out fine. Alright, Alan, back.